So when you think in your mind, yeah, and you go deep in your thoughts, you're in a quantum realm, yes?
Yeah.
But it also seems like it's real.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a quantum reality.
Yeah.
And then externally, we have a reality with quantum. So how do I envision that? So we can see in the darkness, we can see light, yes?
Yeah.
When you close your eyes.
Yeah.
And even with your eyes open and you are daydreaming and the veil, either one or the other, yes?
Yeah.
So when we fall into that sort of category, hold on a second. Just give me a timeout for a second. Oh, so yeah, I had to move them out because if not, every time I get talking, they get more chattier. So, yeah, so we have a quantum reality in the mind, yes? So
Yeah.
when we imagine something, whether we daydream with our eyes open or we daydream with our eyes closed, yes? We're then inside a quantum realm with light. And the light seems to be apparent whether your eyes are open or closed, okay? Now, I'm sure I'm not the only one on the planet that can do it. But you can cross them. So if we say open eyes, and if we say closed eyes, yeah?
Yeah.
So closed eyes is a quantum reality, and with our eyes open, it's a reality quantum. It's switched. But then when you line it this way, you can bring the quantum into your reality, which is an external field of the already quantum going on, the apparatus. And therefore, vice versa, the self-fulfilling prophecy of being able to see something. So you look outside. Now, which one comes first? The mind, the thoughts, or reality? Which bit of it? So when you go to build a fort, which one comes first? Did you open your eyes, see something, and then it goes into your mind? Your mind builds with what it just saw and then throws it back to you. You're in the middle. You're the star in the middle. And then you use this to then build in reality. So we was taking this the other day. So you could see, I don't know, let's go with some of these. You could say you see a feather, yes? And you can see some either stinging nettle, whatever, doesn't really matter. And you can see a willow.
Yeah.
Or a piece of hazel. And then via putting these two together, now which bit came first? The thought to do it, or you see in the reality that fed it? Do you understand that?
Yeah,
Sort
I
of
do.
like that. So you could then look at it as a prophecy. So is it the quantum realm that affects your inner reality, and then the quantum realm affects your outer reality, and vice versa? And you're just in the middle of this pinwheel. Now, something else that gets very fascinating is, to me, I'm not the only one that can do it, is I can push. It's bizarre, right? You don't think to talk about it because you assume that everybody can do it. Then when you ask questions, people are like, hold on a minute, wait, what? So, you know, when you're leaning out, listening to a teacher,
Yeah.
rab, going on about some stuff, blah, 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 yeah, it's good, but it's also,
Boring.
boring. So you maybe begin to stare out of a window. And you notice this little propeller spinning.
Yeah.
And then you look at it again with a mindset change, and you can see it rotating. And you look at it, and it's going an opposite way. Now it's going another way. Now it's going this way. When that gets a little bit boring after a while, you then start to pay attention to the two realms seem to merge in at one point. So you then begin to visualize something, and as you do, reality begins to dim out. It's almost like the exposure of reality gets turned down, and your quantum mind gets amplified up. And somewhere along the lines, you are unconsciously aware, a bit like breathing. So you can stand here and breathe normal. Or you can go, or you can hold it at all.
Yeah.
Do you see, that's being aware of doing that. Now you're aware, take charge. Okay, now I am in control of that. Whatever you want to say, I am in control.
Yeah.
Either or, which you are. And then you'll forget about it. And then guess what happens? Well, it goes into this sort of nice rhythm again, doesn't it? You're breathing.
Yeah.
Well, where one reality is turning down and quantum is turning up, there's this unconscious awareness that you are doing this. You seem to be so unaware that you do it. I got so fascinated with that as such a little one that I like to see it, to become aware of the awareness itself, to become aware of when these points meet in the middle and see if you could hold it, slow it down, make it slower, make it faster. Could you transition with this between this and this? And what I found is that you could be really in control of this, more to the point than first it comes with awareness. And even if you probably go and play around with this, maybe you do, maybe you don't, I don't know, that's up to you. And then it comes to a point where it makes you, gosh, doesn't it make you think about Egyptians and the ancients and subliminal messages? Sorry, just throw that one in there. I'm just going to flirt with that for a bit. Put that there. I'll remember that in a bit. So if I just put that there. And with this, you can then bring your quantum mind, I'm doing it now, it's very weird. So I can see, how's another way of being unconsciously aware of this? It's similar, but it's not the same. You go outside, you've been outside, and then you come indoors and you can see all of that smearing. Do you ever see that?
Smearing.
You've been outside in the light, it's been a hot day, you've been outside, it's been so bright, and then all of a sudden you walk indoors and it's kind of...
Yeah.
And you begin to see that sort of flare.
Yeah.
Or if you're around a bright light, which again, bright lights, thermal. I want to ask another question on that, so I want to pop that one there. Subliminal messages and now thermal lighting. Just got to place those there. And when you walk in, you see it, but it's very different, right? Because that is so big that it takes over. Try and imagine with that. You'll notice it disappear. And this other one will come, and as that one fades out. So it's almost like a liquid crystal display that seems to be a two-way piece of glass, that the sun can scorch the screen for a bit, and also your inner light can scorch this screen for a bit. The inner one is much more liquid crystal than the outer one is just what it is. Big blur. Look at a bright light, big blur. You notice that it sort of stains, doesn't really do anything, but your inner light, which then helped me to understand when I was doing those last videos, actually playing around with this a lot before then. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. So it acts like a piece of glass, a two-way bit of glass.
Yeah.
So ancient Egyptians that made a lot of stuff, I think they had the ability to utilize that at will, more so than we see it now. When you control species, the problem is this shit drops off. Begins to drop off, because you've just sent a signal. We don't need that anymore. We know better. Do you know better is a better question, but again, and don't underestimate it, errors can be learned in society and be followed. So it takes one rotten apple, it really does. One person, one group of individuals to say, we're going to hide all of this and we're going to keep it stum between us. And then unexpectedly, because they believed that they were going to be the centerpiece forever to hold this information, and then they are wiped out.
Yeah.
Then they die and don't tell anyone. They didn't, and then bit by bit they rely on someone else to tell this story, and before you know it, it's gone. What's left is the foundations of teaching people. This happens through life forms more than I can shake a stick at. More than pieces of grains of sand throughout your solar system. Anyway, universe. There's even more. So there's a danger with this. That's why unity always works. This is why shared always works. This is why openness always works. This is why integrity always works, right? when you hold a piece of information and you keep it to just a few, something can happen to you. A war could break out. Something could happen. And that information is got to be guarded by you. But if it's in you and only you know it, then the risk is if you die with that information, it's kind of like, what happens then?
Mm-hmm.
That's holding eggs in a certain basket. Do you appreciate that? And this has happened throughout time, and the information gets lost because a few people hoard the knowledge, and then something happens. And you could argue and say that it's defense, and you could also argue and say that it's control. You can also argue and say that it's power or whatever else. But what happens if something happens to you? That information is lost. For all of the people that were not wanting to be a part of that. So since Egyptians did this, ancient Egyptians did do this. They not all of them, they held on to this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then began to set people these little tasks to try and to distract them from finding what's within. This has happened over and over again because they believe that that's what power is, to be able to be a superhero,
mm-hmm.
better than anybody else, which means you have to stand out. Yeah. And then people have to turn at you and go, oh, what they're really saying is, I wish I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel a little bit jealous. I don't know if the jealousy is the right emotion to put on there, but whatever it is, figure it out. Argue amongst yourself. I've got a hat, load of names and labels. Pick one. If it makes you feel better, just pick one. You want one? No? You sure? We don't want to shrink it. Anyway, so whereas really a quality question is asking a question deeply. Can I do that? Are you human? Why, yes, I am. That's a fucking good start. Come this way. Yes, you can do it. You can all do it. Everyone can do it. Anyone can do it. So this whole quantum reality being pushed out.
Yeah.
So it never gave me a chance. Most people I never spoke about it either because most people want to medicate you or call you crazy or whatnot. And what I found was crazy was given to people like 1% population has this defect, they'll call it, when in actual fact, it was a projection to say that we don't have that, we're normal because of our status, money, reputation, whatever it may be, it doesn't matter, because we hold all the food, whatever, ancient time. To label you crazy rather than accept the harder truth and ask the question, am I crazy? Because I don't see that? Are you crazy? Do you see? Now we got to play who's right and labeled enough to make that decision of whether a person is crazy or not crazy. Do you get the sort of... So people can be labeled as that, as another way to try and... Some things can be used greatly and are beneficial, and some things are used in a detrimental way. So, you know, religion, yeah? Mm-hmm. You've inherited these books.
Yeah.
And you followed the scripture. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to pass these down and pass them down and pass them down. But how do you not know that the person that got those books that were there to witness the time of something happening didn't twist it to fit their own agenda secretly and then passed it down to you? They were meant to tell you that something happened and they just didn't get round to doing it. And then they died. Now, what have you got? Pattern of teaching people things that may not be correct. Because I don't know how it comes about that God, or whatever you want to call that force, I call the overall force God, whatever, divine. To me, it's understanding as divine. And if we want to pick apart God, God means individuals that have shown themselves from here, there, and fucking everywhere. From all different shapes, sizes, colors, way beyond it. Planet Earth, very small, limited, understand. Out there, and the amount of times that it's cycled, how many life forms could you have picked from there? Worthy ones, unworthy, Yeah, of all different variations, shapes, sizes, thinking capacity, looks, color. Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, anywho. So, let's, if you want a definition, how do we not know that somewhere in history, humans haven't just been passing the parcel on broken shit,
Yeah.
but thinking that it's everything because you've believed it, because you believe it, because you don't question it. No one questions anything. And this takes a bigger center stage. So, power families, say how it is. Religious families, Bibles, kings, queens, societal norms. How do you, none of you, and any of you, know that you can all tell each other the truth? One person holds 5 things, was meant to tell these down, but only chose to tell 4, and dies with that secret.
Yeah.
Then the next one, then the next one, then the next one, then the next one. Why are you doing this? Because my father's 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 father did it this way. And that means that it's correct. Why, yes. Don't ever question it. Get on with it. Come on. You'll notice that schools throughout the whole time, they're very aware of this when a youngster as well. Just this. Have you ever played a game called Guess Who, where you flip up all of those tiles? And then you got to knock certain one down. Does it have glasses? No. Doosh, 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 doosh. And it narrows it down to an individual, yeah?
Yeah.
You know the Guess Who board, where you flip up all of those tiles?
I don't know it, but it sounds interesting.
Well, there's a board.
Yeah.
Each one has a face in it,
Uh-huh.
with a certain person dressed in a certain way. You flip up the board and they all stand up.
Yeah.
Then you ask, is this person smoking a pipe? You say, no. Flip those ones down with the pipe. Do they wear glasses? No. Just. It's like, I'm surprised it's still about, because I think it's like xenophobia, like you could ever imagine. Really, it's stereotyping people. But still, the game, the concept. Education system reminded me of all people with the board tiles down. When everyone's going a certain way, they're very compliable, they're very manageable, they do as they're told, polish their shoes, eat their stuff, move on, and don't do... And then you got these strange individuals that pop up every now and then, and they flick up like one of these tiles, and it makes everyone around, not the kids, but everyone that knows to look, this one. Then you stand out like one of the biggest fucking beacons you've ever been. And they'll fire the cannons at you.
Yeah.
Do you notice to a society how much you stand out when you maybe elevate or question the norms, or you fucking stand out. Then when we look at this over a societal, we're watching all of this. Things are working over here, but hold on a second, we got this one over here. Maybe this one over there. That one over there. You draw attention to yourself, like in this, because you flip up. Now, attention can be used in 2 ways.
Yeah.
One, fire the fucking cannons, not this one, or get around that one and just sort of just put a carrot above them, golden one, on a stick with invisible string and make them follow it. There you are, here's the money. Come on, walk over this way. That's it, there's a good... Oh, well done, you. Oh, you feel that? What's that? That's your ego. Just let me massage it a bit more. Is it bad to have an ego? Of course it isn't. Keep going, you. Well done. But anyway, so if we're still in society and we're all doing this shit that we think is so fucking perfectly good and wonderful, you know, we got councils that state we invest in people. That's very silly. And then we've got other people that say, we invest in tax. We invest in this. We invest in that. But make no investments at all in something that is real and valuable. So investing in people. Very good. Where did you come up with that? Why did you come up with that? It seems illiterate. Is that the right word? I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Seems stupid. And money? Well, we can throw money at a situation all of the time, but it's never going to solve anything.
No.
I used to think leadership was about conductors. Do you know that?
No.
It was individuals that would stand up, see what's in society, and see whether they could use what is in society to conduct it.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, they have no control over that. That's just, let them do what they need to do. What? Well, okay then. So if you want to burn something, you can burn what you want. If you want to destroy something, you may destroy what you want. Am I under that understanding? Because you can do what you want. The one thing, the golden sin, the biggest sin out of every single institution on this planet, do you know what it is?
What is it?
Questioning.
Oh, yeah.
That is one of the biggest sins. Question religious leaders and ask them, why do you do this?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's wrong. I just understand something here. You got this from God.
Mm-hmm.
Why, yes, or these events happened and that happened and God came through. And you mean to tell me that God had abandoned you all the way through up until now? And never gave you any fucking insight. He was like, yo, just follow this fucking script. From A to fucking Z.
Yeah. Forever.
Just keep
This
going.
happened now and that's
Keep going and keep going. God also said that you are never going to make mistakes.
it. Really? Oh.
By your way from sin.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, not saying it's right nor wrong, and I'm not knocking it, and I ain't, and I am, and I'm not. I may take it how you want, but you don't think that God would ever come back through and ever wanted to make you change some of that shit in there because it's quite not accurate. You wouldn't listen. You might actually nail them to a cross. You see, that's the bit. That's the strange bit there. That's what I find weird. Anyway, so moving on with this whole quantum thing. So the Egyptians would have pushed out their inner eye. Now, the thing is that I would understand with that, which, again, it seems quite weird, right? If I say to you that I can see a ball of fucking glowing light, but also see it if I shut my eye. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, that boat fucking sailed a long time ago. Good luck trying to catch that. That sailed a fucking long time ago. I mean, it's in another fucking biome by now. Good luck catching that. You see, and then we build up our whole societies on just doing this shit because that's it. There's no leadership. It's just run away.
Yeah.
We're gonna still stay like this because this is this is the accepted norm. No one questions it. See, I thought leadership was all about conductor. So you might take it from America, because I do love America, very much so, with all of the structures that they have. And I'd look at NASA and think, if I was a leader, and it'd be like this here, then it would be like it anywhere else. What could I do with these things? What can I invest in? Well, I can invest in money, but money's very fragile. I can invest in people until an extinction cries at you. Interesting. Or you can make a real investment. So you invest in NASA, right?
Yeah.
Well, I would invest in NASA personally, or a tight space program. EU, they've got something along those lines. Russia has one. China has one. I'm not sure if Britain's got one, or if it was put in Australia, made from peroxide. Man, those rockets used to burn, didn't they? Not the shit you put on your hair. It's got a little bit extra end to it than that, and it burns. It's on contact, so you have to hose everything down. Anyway, peroxide rockets, White Cliffs of Dover, people used to complain about it. The midwives there, I think they used to complain about the shaking. So then they buggered it off to Australia, and then it was never seen again. Anyway, so if you have that space, right?
Yeah.
Which would be a rocket. Now, we're going to do a very piss poor one here. There we are. Look at that. Fucking beautiful. Thunderbird to go. It's a foot rocket, that one. Come back down just as quick as it goes up. Who cares? Concept, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Then wouldn't you invest in a company like this to say, wouldn't this be a better investment around the world, a better modeling, scaling, modeling, whatever it may be? But we are going to give you X amount of, let's say, fuel. We're going to give you X amount of metal.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to give you X amount of all of the things that you need, and we're going to weigh it. So fuel, metal, or resources, yeah?
Yeah.
On a condition that you bring this back. That's an investment, right? And then it's investing in the people that would function into this, yeah?
Yeah.
So it would also be people as well. X amount of people versus X amount of money versus X amount of propping versus X amount of houses that you're going to need to sustain that versus X amount of this, this, and this to get to work and back again and everything else. We're going to give you all of these resources at this value, and it's going to equate to this much. It's going to equals to a rough amount of money. Everyone will say that that money is going to bankrupt us or do this or do that, whatever. Let's say it's 80 million, yeah? Rough example, 80 million.
Yeah.
And you've used X amount of fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. You've added X amount of, if you're using, these ones don't because they create hydrocarbons. Carbon nonetheless, you've created this much carbon, which is a burden, right? Yes, we could say so. It's good because it's a building blocks of life and everything else, but even still, you've created X amount of carbon, yes?
Yeah.
In order to have built that, you've disrupted X amount of woodland, forest, whatever it may be, animals, who cares? So X amount of nature. And then as you begin to conduct as a leader, to invest, which is what? Invest in this structure to bring back something later on. That's how you get legacy, isn't it, really? Because not only were you a leader now, and then perhaps you die.
Yeah.
And then when this shit starts coming in, guess what gets remembered? Well, you do. Why? Because it was you and everybody else that made this happen. You know? So you've got the ones from the top. Nice. Next ones down that made it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely. Next people. And next people, and I know I drew too many zeros on that one, but even still, you get the idea, right? So you've then got all of these people.
Yeah.
All of them. Every single one. From top to bottom, bottom to top. You're like a bunch of little atoms here working together in order to achieve something. What's the achievement? Well, if you use 80 million, and let's say you've used, I don't know, let's just go round with it, you've used 20, I don't know, let's just say pounds worth of fuel for argument's sake. You've used 20 pounds worth of metal. Yes. What was the P? Do you remember? I forgot. I don't really remember. People. Then
people.
we've used a percentage of the population.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we've made 20 pounds worth of carbon, let's say, versus nature, which looks more like a W, but even still. So we could say resources, nature, woodland, and everything else.
Yeah.
Water.
Mm-hmm.
And we've disrupted 20 pounds. Now, let's just say that's the argument's sake. Now, it depends on what this is going to achieve while using all of this resource. Is it going to bring in more metal?
Mm-hmm.
Not just once to replenish what you've just lost, but to keep it coming, to keep it streaming in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what really works, isn't it? There may be something over at Jupiter, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
But having one on its way versus one on its way seems like a massive, massive thing, doesn't it? It seems like it would take forever. It would be so complicated. What happens if there are problems? There are always problems, by the way, but you overcome them. You assume that they're going to happen. It orbits round, collects some stuff from the moons, and then it comes all of its way back. But each one of these is different. Vessel of this.
Yeah.
But you're going to calculate that you're putting this into the pot.
Yeah.
And it works out at X amount. It would have cost $80 million if we're saying America, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say, rough example. When this first starts, it seems like it's a big chunk out of resources, a big chunk out of people's lives, a big chunk out of their pocket if it's to be paid for.
Yeah.
But it's investing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big chunk of people's lives. But you're investing. What for? Future. What's the future? Well, the future is, but let's say Earth's here. And you keep sending these out one after the other. And then eventually one will start to come back. And when it does, that just wiped the floor with all of these resources. You've just brought back 4 times what you borrowed.
Mm-hmm.
Not only have you balanced a scale there, you have your nation is now growing massively, hugely. Why? Because here's 1, now times 2, now times 3, now times 4. Let's say if you manage to suck the water off Europa, if there's no life in it and it's not really doing anything, I ain't no good fucking admiring that shit, is there?
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunately and fortunately, it's going to be devoured anyway. It's one Armageddon away from total annihilation, or being lost to Jupiter itself, or the sun. Chances are that's going to get destroyed on its own, natural, orbiting. It's got a life expectancy. The moon has got a life expectancy. The Earth has a life expectancy from point A to point B.
Yeah.
But in your hands, capable and lovely, and it can live a lot longer. Why? Well, because it can't move itself. Well, it would be silly to think that. It probably could if it tried, but that gets complex. That doesn't test you. That would be testing the planet. Can you move out the way of a comet if we give you some good stuff that the humans have got and only 1% of it? You are a CCD.
Mm-hmm.
You know what a CCD is?
No.
It's in computers. It allows a certain amount of energy to bust through.
Oh.
You are a CCD.
Uh-huh.
You don't get the full amount of power that you are meant to get. Your heart wouldn't beat. It would purr.
Mm-hmm.
Your life force is restricted to a CCD. You couldn't put that much power through a human body. It'd fucking fry it. You would destroy it. You would fry. You would never work again. You would die.
Yeah.
You would overload, and that wouldn't work. The envelope can be pushed, but shades of grey. Your energy is a CCD moment where you're online, offline, online, offline, online, offline. You don't even realize it. It seems like it's so fast, right? But it's not. It's like fucking. That's your life force, and everybody's life force. And you know what? You can drive cars, fly airplanes, and do all sorts, even though you shut down for most of it. It's fucking really, really ridiculous. It's funny, but it's. You've just got used to it. You're born into it, so you get used to it. You're a CCD. So rather than having 240 volts run through you're getting less than probably 5, maybe not even that. 0.01, maybe not even a centimeter worth of energy. And you pulse on, pulse off, pulse on, pulse off, whilst it holds back all of that power behind you, like a resistor and a CCD, just to push back all of that divine, beautiful power. Well, yeah, it would just, you would probably knacker the universe just to even experience that much power. Even if the stars did, it would break the universe. It would just, it'd fry, it'd pop like a circuit board. What's this CCD here? Well, it's only making this much energy, but what happens if I take the 240 and put it the other side of this CCTV? Every capacitor shits itself. That's what happens, and it pops like popped corn. That would be like the universe. It would just, you wouldn't be able to cope with that power, and you, the vessel yourself, man, that's just. Anyway, so when this starts coming back, and let's say you do collect the water, and you are cleverly enough to do it, and if you do. And along the way, you're using these. They're going to come past here anyway. Might as well grab some gases and fill it up here too, and make a gas station, but made out of air. And it can have some computers on the side of it and a little bit of playing around to do. What can you do with these gases? Well, I made you oxygen. I also made you some of this shit. Water from Jupiter. It tastes pretty good. Yeah. Anyway, still, and then you start bringing this back to Earth. Oh. You switch the carbon out and take it, just because you can, take the carbon from Mars. Yeah. And again, it's external. Everything in the Earth is internal, the Earth, inside the Earth, not eternal. Well, it's not. Internal. So what are you investing? Well, nothing. You're not really. People say, I feel like I'm wasting my life. Let's get that. Would you like to jot that into a Bible where everyone thinks they're wasting their life? That's a good point. That's almost like God speaking out to you. And then I hear some people are like, I know I just wasted my time playing on this computer game. Well, just give it a time, man. That's now. Yeah, fast forward into the future. Can you imagine that? You're a robot on the moon. Robot in space flying around. That would be pretty pointless. But still, a robot on the moon or something. Training ground. There'll be a bit of a delay, but I reckon it could get faster. I think that could be sped up quite a bit. Yeah, I think so. I think quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then when you start to bring these resources in, now whether you bring them and land them on the planet, orbit them around the moon, make another moon with all of this stuff where you stack it all neatly together, it becomes a moon of potential. It starts stocking this stuff up. Oh, can I make some... Oh, there's some metal in here. Oh, isn't that lovely? It's like Pandora's box. Beautiful, right? And you take it over to the sun and you make another container, and now you no longer are borrowing the metal that you use from the earth. You're using the metal that's now coming back to make more containers to collect more stuff, and now you have a moon of possibility. Someone's like, oh, can I use something from there? The new way. What's the new way? You've got to invest it. It's got to be invested. What's coming back from this? You can borrow it, but what's coming back? It's best you get this far than what it is to run out of resources on the planet and then be like, oh shit. Because if this stuff is going to take X amount of time, it's probably good to do things when things are sweet. Damn you, ancient Egyptians, I told you to listen. We did. We just kept it hidden from everybody. Yes, you fucking did. Yeah, this is the stuff that needs to be passed on. Or there's this thing with language as well, right? So there's language.
Yeah.
And unless you've lived since the day you saw this happen to what's come now, you have this triangular of perspective. But you don't. You live here. Just see how so hard for you to see that. So it doesn't mean that, that's the thing, right? That's the biggest conundrum that we live in. So every empire fears collapse because it thinks that it can't change nothing. So it becomes trapped in this, well, we got to continue doing this because it looks like weakness. Well, how does it look like weakness? Because a little bit we've told them that it looks like weakness, and half of it is they believe that it's weakness, and now all of a sudden I'm starting to think that that's too weak, and then that could mean collapse, and holy shit. Just get out there and fucking own it. You don't need to tell people you made mistakes. You evolve, and everybody is capable of change, right? No matter how much you fuck things up. That means from the top to the bottom, and I think that's where we don't give enough credit for everybody in that sort of niche. We are all human and going to make mistakes. That's okay. I tell you what's not okay, that we don't check ourselves and one another and sort of look and think, are we doing something correct here? Are we really living to the best versions of ourselves? And I think questioning is quality, because you get to ask yourself the true question. And if no one's asking any questions, then we keep living the same way, and then yes men stay yes men. The people around you are teaching you this shit, which is then an error, but you don't know it's an error because you believe that they taught you because someone told you, which then they were told by someone else. And then when I follow this paper trail backwards, which is not a paper trail, flesh and blood, insight and corruption. Oh, okay, so when you start to follow this backwards, I start noticing these little inconsistencies with what people are saying.
Yeah.
And then you follow it back a little bit more, and then you're like, well, that's not quite right. And then these people here can't see these people here, and these people here trapped in their little dark vessel. Anyway, never mind. Are screaming at the future to understand the past, and the past wants you to look back and think, were they telling us right? And when we notice things over history, this is another weird thing. Do you ever notice that they were doing some really weird shit back in the day? Like, Well, sure, we've got shoes because you were throwing shit out of a window. I mean, how many people shit in a bucket and just throw it out on the fucking streets below? Bombs away!
Yeah.
To look at that now, you think, who came up with that? Well, I ain't got no fucking cleaner. Well, it can't be people who had houses, because most of the muggles didn't have any houses, barely had a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of. So, who could afford a window and a pot? Someone a bit upper class, but you just... Was this a way to try and get rid of poor people from your streets? You didn't
Yes,
want
so
them
they
there.
didn't sit in front of your house. You just checked that, probably. So they didn't beg there,
Fucking hell.
I guess.
And then you look at that and think, man, that's fucking wrong, right? But no one was ever thinking that that was wrong. And you know what? These people were walking around with flowers under their noses. It smelled so bad, didn't it?
Yeah. Not only rich people could afford.
I'd rather rub
Flowers.
myself in otter's piss. Well, funny you should say that. I just made some perfume from it. Women were like, I ain't fucking buying that. Men, did you know if you rub yourself in otter's piss, women will love you? Will they? Oh, I had a good time last night. Did you pull any women? No, I didn't. Well, I suppose you smell all right, though. Oh, my days. It's funny what we believe, isn't it? Weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, so when we look at the past and we think about it, can we get a little bit of... We used to call it Chinese whisper.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever do that?
Yeah.
I think it's xenophobic as fuck today. I don't really want to be PC about the whole thing. That's what it was called. Secret or twisted whispers, we could call it now. Don't even know why people were saying it was called that. You know, just caretakers, givers, people in...
Yeah, we
Teachers.
called it quiet post.
There you are. So we noticed that things get twisted along the way. Or we might say something like this. And agendas and biases and filters and wouldn't it be funny? Now I'm going to try and keep a straight face because I just said something that wasn't it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you notice that you've got all of these sort of things happening. And this happens in a frickin' playground with people today, but it never happened through the past. Like carrying a relay baton. And then what happens if you get a family feud? And they're like, you know what? I was meant to pass you this relay baton. Instead, I give you this one. It's got a great big fuck you written in the middle of it, but you know, go and take it down. That's how you're supposed to be. And then that's when everybody can suffer in that. Because if the wrong things have been passed down and then the wrong beliefs have been made, beliefs, man, they're fucking confusing things, they are. But you fully work into a belief and then it's like you stay stuck in it and it's like everyone wants you to stay stuck in it. Everybody. Like you must not question or what? Was I not supposed to say that? No! Shh. People might distance you if you do speak out. Do you know what? You're like a fucking beacon. Not for the right reason, because they're gonna fire the cannons at you, Sonny Jim. These are like little covert cannons, though. Did I get him? No. Well, it worked on everybody else. I don't understand it. It must be him. Not my cannon. Or was everyone else going, "Ah!" just to make you think that the cannons were good? Just sort of play dead to the weaponry sort of thing. And it then creates a false sense of superiority that isn't real. And then when they really need it, it's like giving someone a gun where every time they pull it, it's like telling them, like, this can do. See what it did? See what it did to that over there? Wonderful. Here, you want one? Yep. You only need to use it when you really need to use it. All right, then I'll keep it nice and safe. And then when you get it, you're like, I got you, motherfucker. And you pull it and it pops out with a little flag that says bang.
Yeah. Bang, bang.
Because the belief in it. That would be misinformation, that would. Be highly dress it up and then we can learn errors. And then, do we forgive each other? Because we create this belief system that people who are rich are not supposed to get anything wrong. people who are on TV, flawless. I want to see this fucking spotless. Okay then. Are you sure you are up to that challenge? Yeah, I am. Look, see? I am spotless. You're human, right? Yeah. You think you can do spotless? Okay, I got another one for you. Natural spotless. Yeah, I just don't know, you know. Women are attracted to otters. Urine. Why did they used to mate otters back in the day? Did you smell that? No, honey, I don't. It's really getting me going. Well, there's a lot of pissing over there. I suppose it could be. What are you doing? You're rolling all over that. You know what's the other one for men? They must be like dogs over foxes' piss. Have you ever seen a dog roll around in something really smelly? I only assume that there's a fox urinated there. Just drives them mad. Like, ugh. So maybe it does work, but yeah, I don't know about dogs though. Maybe they would mistake a fox for a. If times got really hard, I suppose they would crossbreed with that. Wouldn't you think so?
They could do, yeah.
They could do, and then what would you have? A fog.
Dogs. Fog or dogs?
Dogs. That's why they were scribbling the jackal in the temple. Prophecy seems to be coming true in a lot of places, doesn't it? Unexpected, but still. It seems to be... you'd make a jackal, wouldn't you? Anyway, so where are we going with this? It now looks like a tree, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Interesting. Which a tree that could have a star on top of it. Now that gets even more interesting. So yeah, so resources and investing in your planet, investing in your time, investing in your life. Isn't it more about what we do? So right now, if I breathe in and out and do a load of shit like this, am I really investing in anything? Am I utilizing the air I breathe and the food that I eat? Some people would say, you're a lazy cunt. You don't do nothing. Well, what should I do instead? Well, I think you should go over there and do this and do that and do that. Well, I think I'm transforming this air into something good that can help future generations, and some of it really shit, and maybe it doesn't. I'm up for giving it a go. But yeah, and then you've got people like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, forgive me. And then you've got Mark Zuckerberg, NASA. Shit me, Bill Gates. Yeah. There's another one. Another one. I think he plays around with, at the moment, I think, was, so at some point, some sort of farming. Or was it Mark Zuckerberg? Either or. You got a lot of people here already that is like, if they all came together and were led in the right way, not forced, but optional. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg has a lot to teach people. I mean, coding and different stuff like that, to starting out coding school and get parts of inside schooling and education systems. You've got Jeff Bezos. Forgive me, I'm just going to call it Amazon, the factory, and I mean Jeff. And if I say Facebook, I mean Mark Zuckerberg, because to follow all of your names is near enough impossible for me to do so. I know you as companies. If you got the big F, yeah?
Yeah.
And they were in schools teaching computer systems next generation, yeah? You could teach some kids that were interested in it, or all kids that were multi-talented in it. I don't believe in this whole, you have to pick one path and follow it.
Yeah, me neither.
I think that it's far more healthier to teach people how to code if they want to, but if it really isn't their thing and they really find a passion in something else, then be flexible enough to let people walk that path that they know that they're going to be in. But yet there are a lot of people that go unobserved, I think, who are not just multicultural, but multi-talented individuals. And I don't think these get noticed a lot. They don't want to stay stuck. They want to be fluid, move, free, to choose, free to build. And I think this works with a society than against it. So if you had a few that were pretty much into it until school, right? So the next generation of children that we are growing into the world. And then if you have a political system, yes, I don't know how it all works in America, but I'm just going to assume that it would be no different, that they would be like a conductor. Here's the plan, guys. Look, we could do this and invest in our great nation. You know how it is, yeah? Everyone's got that. It's great to have that. But investing in our resources to get back even more resources. How can we get more resources? They don't have to be tomorrow. It doesn't have to be next week. It could be 50 years from now, and make it symbolic. It could be 52 years from now. To bring back more resources to the planet. This builds you for future. This creates longevity. This opens up doorways to all people that are coming into the world. It creates a spark of dream, the American dream, yes? I think it gives you the freedom to do that. It gets, you could think about it, there are other, Microsoft is another one, yes, a company, a Microsoft. Don't know who owns it, and there you are. And there's also Google as well. I'm not sure who owns Google. Doesn't matter.
Google, yeah. Apple.
Amazon.
Yeah.
And you see, where gaming, you got to listen to your audience, right? They shouldn't feel that. Really don't ever feel that. Oh, I know I just wasted some time on a game and it didn't really achieve nothing. Well, how can we make that mean something? How can we make that so you're not wasting time? That is saying to me that this person is is happy that they played the game, but wished they could play the game and be constructive at the same time. How do you incorporate a company that builds a game that is related to real life? Mooncraft, as opposed to Minecraft on a virtual simulation, don't get me wrong. It paved the way and got the step there. But working with Apple, Microsoft, Google, if these are in this nation, what's the future look like for you? Because not only that, whilst you play, you are bringing in resources. And eventually, sure, it might start with a small people doing it, a few people doing it, a small group doing it. But like everything, it's got to start small, and then it begins to expand. And depending on how popular that becomes, I mean, it's interesting, it's feasible, maybe it's not realistic right now. You might need a shift in technology, but then the rollout of virtual reality is one. The meta world is another again. So if it would take most of these companies probably to get together to create something like that, or it's go through a system and it picks a person who's going to do it for a particular time, and everybody has a go on their platforms for a bit. You've got one with Facebook people option in. This bot's on the moon somewhere, exploring, doing this, made by Facebook. Another one you've got with Google, another one you've got with Amazon. In the beginning, there has to be a few, but it picks random people that sign up to it. Would you like to have a go at working our virtual robot on the moon to find resources for a bit? You may not get any reward for doing it, yet the future will be the thing that you reward for your time that you put into it now. And then I think that really changes the way games are played, really, aren't they? That really brainstorming. Anyway, that's just one avenue. What you could do, you could get them to do it with little probes that go underneath the ocean. There's one that's more closer to home. We don't know much about under the ocean. Find things that could get underground. I mean, these are all great. And then that brings you with like Google, Apple, perhaps Amazon do some gaming. I'm sure they do. And then you've got Facebook. You've then got people like NASA, Tesla, which is Elon Musk. And I don't know everyone's name. You've got to forgive me. But their teachings that can teach kids, the next generation, how to be what you are. You know, you got to pass that torch eventually. Not pass it, but inspire it, light other people's sort of embers, you know, get those fires charging, that they might go off and make some things that go under the ocean. These ones might make some things that go in the crevices in the earth. These ones might make some things that go on the moon. And what you're doing with those resources that you are utilizing is the biggest plan of all, is to bring back those resources from an exterior, as opposed to, you know, because that's investing. I'm going to invest this nation into this many resources so that in X amount of time, it will bring back, realistically projected, this many resources will start to come back, or at very least, we will know where to go get the resources. It's part machine, part human. Because once you start to build structures that can support life,
Yeah.
well, that opens up another Pandora's box. That's real estate.
Yeah.
If it's not permanent for long periods of time and only short time, so it's more like seasonal, then you can hold venues there. It's marriages, have the honeymoon on the moon type thing. Stay in one of these things. People might not want that, but again, some people might really like that. The more people you got going, and then if you're inspiring the kids, this kickstarts something, you know. That would bring a whole new meaning to something. That.
Yeah.
At the same time as being able to get there, and there's a place for people to work, especially if it's military. I'm sure they love the thrill. I can't speak for people directly. I can only speak about the people that I know who've been in this. And when I have spoke about things like this, space and everything else, you see it ignites. They have like this little mini Kundalini moment, that fear, that excitement, that unknown, that whole thing that sparks when they go to battle. You know, I'm sure it's the same thing there. It's that they run on that. That's a feeding force. They get something from that. It's the same in this, similar, and it charges that sort of. I wouldn't mind that. You know, it's not guaranteed, but if it was built under the assumption that it's going to be guaranteed, I mean, loads of fail safes and even more so, and then you've got to be realistic that there are going to be tragedies.
Yeah.
But it cannot stop momentum. That's another thing you'll notice, that if there's anything that goes slightly wrong, everyone's a bit unsure whether they could continue or not. And there you would be able to see a fractured that kind of melts things down. Do you get it? I get it. It's out of respect and different things like that, but at the same time, that really slows things down. If you think about it in a different way, we'll take it as war. What happens if someone comes back? Does anyone stop and say, hold on, we better stop this battle, we better show some... It never happens, does it? You understand that, yeah? But in the same way, this is a war of survival, which it shouldn't be called a war, because that's not a great thing to say so, but in some instances it is. It's a battle to set your future up, to go past the time barrier of what you were currently meant to live. Here and here on the earth. That's it. Here and here on the star. Here and here on... That's it. When it shuts down, you want to be ahead of that curve.
Yeah. But people...
And then that's investing your life now. Hunter-gatherers invested. The next generation invested. A glass age, iron age, ice age, wood age, all in no order, have all invested into you becoming what you are today. I mean, that's a lot of investments, that is, and sacrifices. Certain things in us trigger a code for something to work with that initiates your responses, but you've learned to shut them out. That's the thing. It's been closed off and the door has been sealed, but it doesn't mean that it isn't still there. It tries to find other ways through. So I was thinking about subliminal messages, yeah?
Yeah.
You know how subliminal messages work, yes? Not everybody, but most people. You know, this is what we're talking about, is the most. Actually, it's quite a lot of people. You know, when I was talking about you being a CCD, and you shut down and charge up in reality and shut down and charge up. If any force were outside of that continuum of what you understand,
Yeah.
and they were moving a lot more than you were, and you are just like this very glitzy, slow motion. You can only see at a certain ratio. Therefore, your brain will only pick up so much. If you could function in more processor power or energy for you to function, let's say, you would pick up more information. That's why it seems so limited. That's one reason. And another reason is you unlock this as you go. You evolve into it. You evolve into your gifts. These are limited gifts right now, but it doesn't mean that they are to stay locked forever. They are just, you expand with them over evolution, but you have to go through certain mechanisms. Yes. So humanity goes through a certain cycle, and it punches something into you. You can't fake it. It begins to punch shit into you. You don't realize it. That's a beautiful thing. And this unlocks a change in your anatomy, a change in your brain, a change in your thinking, a change in your paradigm. When it's above a certain amount of number, if it's a small number, it doesn't work. It has to be over. It has to favor majority. Small amounts, it's just not enough. Large amounts, then you're ready. Then it's ready for a... It doesn't work with a small amount because a small amount can't convince a large amount. And that is the unfortunate thing. You just cannot. You think about it, you think the power is that way, but technically when push comes to shove, it's usually larger in numbers, which you would think, hang on a minute, is it really? Do you think a small amount can do this, this, and this? Yeah, to a large amount of a degree, it's all about awareness, this, that, and the other. Small things have a way of toppling. So subliminal messaging, yeah, anyway, so let's just go with that. That is excellent. So, subliminal messages work for a large amount of people. Do you think in your reality there's subliminal messages going on, but you don't realize it?
Yeah.
Do you ever think it's an unwritten rule? It's not saying that it is being done, but it's possible that it could be done. Remember, the universe is like pain receptor. It's everywhere and it's nowhere. And it can't be everywhere in its awareness field at the same time until something buckles, something is beginning to snap, or something requires another bite. Slight amount of attention is endorphin rush, which then requires an expansion. Anyway, so one is to look at it as pain. You become not aware of your body most of the time. You generate, walk around, do this, do that, and you are very much unaware of your body most of the time. You think you're just a set of awarenesses moving through the world. Doesn't it sometimes feel like that when you're walking? If you didn't see your shadow bring you back to reality now and then, you're just a bunch of floating awareness. And then you have toothache. Then you have foot ache. Then your toe, you stubbed your toe and you flick the skin off it. How much are you aware of that foot?
A lot.
How much are you aware of that tooth?
A lot.
How much are you aware of any pain that you've ever done? A lot. Mental pain. You become such aware, don't you? You become really aware. Well, the universe operates in a similar fashion. Becomes really aware when things get painful. When the tension's about ready to snap. And then it's time, leave it or do something about it. So we walk around in our physical existence that we think is so physical, but actually there's a lot less. But we just can't see it, but it's almost like seeing a picture with lots of bits missing out of it. It's like playing catchphrase. Forgive me, that sprayed a little bit there. Keep thinking about the drink. And you know, I play catchphrase, yeah? Now, I'm not saying that it hasn't been worked out, and I'm not saying that it has, but you can work out that light, but you'll think it's darkness because you can't observe it. You may be able to, but you may not be able to interact with it. Then you may be able to find something to... How do you take nothing that appears to be nothing and begin to put it together? How do you take the nothingness, the quantum in reality, and forge it together?
Some people dream about stuff they would like to do for a bit and then think about what they would need. And
No. So this empty space that we walk in here,
Yeah.
it's not empty, it's full. But yet you're able to walk through it. Now, are you walking through it because it's bouncing off of you, or are you walking through it? That poses another question. Invert it. Then that means the ground is empty,
Yeah.
and this is full.
Uh-huh.
If you could invert it, if you could see it inverted, and your dreams, right? You almost be able to walk through things and do this and do that through your dreams, except for walls, yeah? It's almost like you can't walk through the certain structure. It's like it won't let you, and it almost seems inverted in that as well when you think about it. But there is a reality in the quantum in that. The fixture, the arena. The arena seems a bit more real than the quantum, the light. There's all that darkness around it. What happens if you zoom in into a star? Do you think it's got lots of empty space in it?
Yeah.
And do you think it takes two of the equal nothings and creates something in the mirror, in the piece of glass? It slams two bits that it knows what it can see because it's trained to know what these two objects are. And the black hole is also very much aware of what this is. You can see it, yes, because it comes out of the star as this, this, and this, yeah? There's matter, yeah? But that's a piece of nothing and a piece of nothing slammed together to create something that's a bit of neither here nor there. Is it or isn't it? And if it was just two pieces of one thing being one thing being another but in reverse, clocked together, well, then that gives you a structure, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But is it simply popping two bits together, or is it a mix of nothings that start off as one? And not only is it evolving here from one to the other, it's also evolving somewhere else where you can't see it. These nothings are evolving into something, and your something that you can see is definitely evolving into something. It's almost like the quantum, the bit you can't see but you know it's there, but the bit that you can see but you know it's there. It's almost like the reverse factor of both almost seem to interact with one another. Like if you see the poppy, and you see this, well, it's a nice plant, it's a nice this. Oh, hang on a minute, it just broke. Now I just saw it broke. Oh, okay. Oh, it's very nice and shaky at the moment. Oh, it sounds like a musical instrument. If I tip all of those out and throw them, they grow. Well, I just learned something there, but the brain's like, oh, yo, hold on a second, you take those with you. Okay, I fucking will. And then off you go. You might be messing around with a tree or whatnot, and then it skins like a freaking banana. Like maybe just trying to break it and stick off, and then, oh my god, I just skinned it. And then the brain's like, yo, hold on a second, you just go get that. And then you take it, and then you plait with it, and you're making some rope. Nice. Make some nice, lovely rope there. String, cordage, whatever it may be. And then a bird flies by and drops a feather. No, it's just a feather. Pay more attention to it, and the mind is then what? Building? Running away? And it sees it as this, as a tool. But then says, hang on, if you throw that at that thing, you'll eat. I'll be able to eat, yes. Because the pain of, you see, we take this so much for granted. I mean, that's a weird thing, and it's hard to teach anyone. It's very sad, by the way, in the beginning. Think about it. There's enough food, yeah, sure, don't get me wrong. And you travel around, and again, sure, don't get me wrong. And then an event happens. And that pain triggers, right? And why does it have to be so painful? Why does everything have to be so bloody painful? It's so unfair and all of that. Yeah, I get it, it is, and terribly so. But if you didn't get that pain of watching your children die of starvation, you would never change your food supply. You would keep eating the same shit that's now dying off, which it knows it's going to die off. And then going out and hunting and not having enough food Because if you did not get that animal down at a certain time, and you think it would be bow and arrow, right? It's so. Have you seen how awkward it is for bow and arrow to use a bow and arrow in a satchel in the back? Do you know how much of a pain in the ass it all is? Like you got to sit there and you got to. Have you ever seen a fucking animal sit still for long enough? As soon as it sees you, it's like, fuck, it's humans, 40s are coming. Man, it's like, smell you. They even look at you and they're fucking gone. You know, it's kind of weird because you got compared to a human and a rhino, compared to an alligator, rhino, human, elephant, birds will land on them quite happily. Land, pick shit out their teeth, and they come near a human, and they're just like, no, we're alright, thanks. Yeah, they're not sure about you. I mean, that is some fucking fear, that is.
Yeah.
Considering you're going to be the hands that need to very gently lift them up into space with you when you go. That is a requirement. Not asked, it's required from you. It poses a big purpose. It shows what you are. Anyway, losing your loved ones, and see, it's so hypocritical as well. Losing your loved ones, watching your children die of starvation. It really does something to your brain, which triggers something, which then allows a higher force to work through you, helps you, adjusts, changes. Then you're ready to listen. Why? Well, because you're ready to listen. Because you don't want to feel that anymore. And that fear is far more, and that hurt is far more. You're distracted. So you're not going to freak out. In those moments, you don't freak out. Well, you might. You might now. And then you sit down with yourself and think, how can I never feel that feeling again? Not the starvation. That wouldn't do it enough. But watching a loved one die because you couldn't get food, that. And that's why investing in money is stupid. Investing in metal, it's a little silly. It's good arena if used correctly.
Yeah.
No hedge fund in the world is ever going to hold you up, is going to be bars of gold. That's a belief. A hedge fund should be food. Next hedge fund should be oxygen. Next hedge fund should be converting these gases in a very good way. Nature falls, animals fall, you fall. And then it must become a certain point where it's like judgment. Could you imagine if the last thing that comes up is the higher power reveals itself saying you failed? And then you got to explain to it how you knew better than a force that has been trying to do nothing but teach you. And it has been slandered and that's a lesson, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the devil. Every time you get a little bit close to God, they might try and give you the 666 shit. Because it's reverse psychology. As you are not worthy enough to know that, I'm going to scare you away. You're insane! Yeah, have you seen it? We fly around on a piece of fucking rock around a bright, burning piece of nuclear furnace. Oh, I wasn't talking about that, Mr. Sharp. Oh, sorry, what was you talking about? You're insane. Me? Compared to all this shit going on, I'm insane. You watch little twinkle lights in the fucking sky. Which they don't actually twinkle, the planets do. But still, twinkle, twinkle, little planet doesn't sound very good. Too indoctrinated. That's crazy. I'm crazy? That's fucking crazy. That's mental. Don't you think? That is more crazier than anything else.
Yeah, I do.
And there again, if there are any other life forms that were able to understand that other side of it, you know, that nothingness. And do you know the greatest way that if I was to figure that nothingness out, cram it all together and meet other life forms, do you know what I would do? I would figured out that two of these pushed in by the star, trying to push it in, and a third one might pop out, and it's got this little ring of fire around it, and it goes off flying out, and then it goes and it hits into something and it absorbs into this and illuminates it. And some of it, because you know when you're picking up and shutting down like your CCD, you're picking up one of those that then put the light picture into you. Do you understand? No? Yes? Could do? Maybe? Maybe you're understanding that? Maybe. So the light that's flying out of here, it's allowing me to see because it's smashing pictures. So if you could take something that recorded at the speed of light and faster than it, would it? That would be the speed of what you would need a slow motion camera to do. In reverse that, scratch that. That's a hell of a speed. Then it gives you a full picture of what's going on, but you still wouldn't be able to see it. Even if you watched it back, you'd have to slow it down. But there again, do you know, that's because of how much more, that's a life speed. Who lives the correct life speed? That is something, because that warping of time. I wouldn't call it time, but still. So each one of those that knocks into your awareness field is a picture off of a light. That's weird, isn't it? Like a bubble. Burns into you. Nice. Interesting. I was wondering about that. If I was beings that created this darkness and I could envelop myself around it, around a planet somewhere, so you could just see nothing. You could see through it. How weird would that be? You would see through it, like it'd be like there's nothing. You could walk through it. I could come and put a fucking camera here, cloak it. Now that's if it can see you. If it can see outwards, because that would be the next bit. Once you figured this shit out, you would then have to cloak something in it. Now I'm in it, but I can't see anything. But I know I'm here because it says so in my little device. I mean, it's got to start somewhere. Build it up. And you find a way of looking through that. While everything else that looks at you, it's nothing's here. I would make the outer edges of it glow with light. Wouldn't you? Where you'd manifest in front of someone with your big fucking craft and then just appear with this light. And then they'd be following this light. And then they'd try and attack the light. But it wouldn't work because you're attacking something that isn't actually there. And then in that moment, it appears physical, smacks into you, and you don't even know what's just fucking hit you. And then it disappears and travels through the wreckage. Therefore, what's the speed of hitting into something and then turning that, switching it? If it crashes into your aircraft, just take it like that. You've got an airplane sort of attack this funny looking light that's sort of weird and dancing, and it wasn't there a minute ago. It didn't distort the stars. How the fuck did it get there? Well, maybe if there's this other side. And I'm just saying if, you know. You're crazy. Yes, maybe I am. And, yeah. As it's dancing over here, and it leaves those little pieces of nothing in that sort of orbit over there. That's distraction. And then it's right up on you. Okay. Because you can't see it. In fact, you could even be flying in it. It could be flying over you, like a bubble. In hell. Could you take people like that really easily? You could have ducked a whole fucking plane, boat, ship, planet. Shit, that would be interesting. And you wouldn't even know it. You could move the whole of the fixtures of space around you and just draw these little dots around. You wouldn't even know. You'd be zipped up in this fucking nothing void. And everything else would just be happily whizzing by you. Big black hole on the way? Oh no, shit, let's zip them up. Wow. Anyway, let's see if the black hole knows how to figure this out, and you could turn it off and you could make it go away. Maybe a star as well. You'd have to work and understand both forces. Anyway, neither here nor there. Well, the fact is, you could take a whole fucking aircraft, or you could attack it, and there'd be nothing you could do about it. Yeah. Could you imagine that? Nothing. Nothing you could do. Blink, it was there. Next minute, it's fucking gone. Looks like it just vanished. It's like it just dropped. It just dropped out of the sky, it did. Yes, it did, didn't it? It didn't. It just disappeared. But it didn't disappear to stay disappeared. And then the good little things brought you back, unzipped you, and then go tell your friends, we're the good guys, we shoved this up your ass, we put this in your ear, and we also tickled your kneecaps. Yeah, interesting. And then how would you move across the solar system with that? You see, that's it. When you sit on a peak, a moment, and you stay there and you stay grounded in it, just because you stay in there and you're under control and you get all the people under control doesn't mean that you're controlling the whole fucking universe.
No, you're not.
You might be, I can't see anything, I don't know, I don't this. Makes me feel powerful. All of this shit can be going on around you and you don't even know it. Not enough eyes to look, ears to see, minds to think. Man, that's like wide open. I would never like that. That would be... No. Nope. It'd be right here now and you wouldn't even know it. And then that's one. That's one, yeah? So you've got the glass. I like to call it the glass. It's not really glass, but it's the only way to explain it, the glass. And what's really strange is you can push the quantum out into your reality field. Mm-hmm. What's more, if you then are seeing this nice, beautiful, I don't know, it could be a lotus leaf, I suppose, whatever you want to put. I could say a vortex, whirlpool, whatever you want to call it, three-dimensional orb, big orb, heavy atom, looks like an atom, there's bits whizzing around it. Anyway, whatever you want to label it, doesn't matter, God, spirituality or whatever, Egyptian, ancient, third eye, you name it what you want. It's weird when you start to imagine things appear. Hieroglyphs, and then you can get to work with writing those. Now, what I was wondering, right, was because the Egyptians and different things like that, were they all thinking the same thing?
About what?
Like a shared... You see, because you're only touching the basics of it, right? So if one person can do it, a few people can do it, a few other people can do it, but not many, and everybody else can't do it, then you're missing a lot of data, so you have to think about it. What happens if a load of people were able to do that? What if that was every day? Everyone was able to do it. And they saw something. Could they influence each other the same way I'm trying to figure out what came first, reality or the mind, to put this together and create something like this? Or to see the poppy and the bark and everything else, yes? And then create something like this. What came first, reality or the quantum? Well, they kind of just merged at a moment. They bounced off of each other. And then you're the instrument in the middle that confirmed or denied it. Mm-hmm. Both exist now. Yeah. One exists in my mind as the first quantum. Yeah. It now exists in reality, which has now brought the quantum into reality, and now I'm seeing reality, and when I close my eyes I'm sending it back to the quantum realm in reality. Now quantum reality is complete. That's a tick. It worked. Nice. And then you take it back to hieroglyphs or different things like that, seeing certain things. What's that subliminal messaging, do you think? And if there were any advanced beings, which I'm pretty sure there's many, what happens if they tapped into that side of it? Or what if humans figured out a way to see this stuff and then found out there was shit living in it? Seems impossible, doesn't it? It seems really bizarre. Now, that's not the next bit. The next bit that is peculiar is when you rotate this way. And when you rotate this way, it gives you a figure of 8. You get 8. 8. 16. 16 variations of this. Is it 16? 8 and 8. 16. Is it? 8 and 8. What's 8 and 8?
16.
It is 16. I don't know why I questioned that. Yes, 16 variations. Wait, 2, 4, 6, 8. Plus that again. Yes, 16. Anyway, it gets more complex. There are multiple switch points. And then which one? I don't believe in this whole multiverse even though we say biomes, yeah, I just don't. It just doesn't sit right. It just is. Yeah, the vocab is not there. But when you've got multiple layering, these ones get a little bit more interesting. They're almost unreachable, but seem to be slighted into both of them. So you could look at that as something more.
Yeah.
And you could say it's something higher. It's a god. It's this. Or, and use it loosely, it could be other life forms. The easiest way to tap into communication would be through this, through the opposite side, which I would have to say is light. Which one's light, which one's dark? We're in the dark biome, not the light. This is the dark with the points of light. And there again, that depends on your perspective, because it could be light. You know, you could be, your eyes could have chosen, this is another thing that can get your head around this, your eyes could have chosen to see in the darkness and not see the light. Are you following me on that?
Yeah.
That you would see the reverse of what you're seeing. It seems really hard to understand that, right? So you are seeing points of light, yes?
Yeah.
What about if you could see the shadow instead? Could you imagine that? Seeing it in reverse, in retro?
Yeah.
But your eyes could have been focused on seeing the darkness as opposed to, and you would see that as visible light. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Now, which side are you? Because you're in the darkness, but you are light. Weird. Not quite inner light.
Yeah, object in the light.
It's the wing. So black points of bright light. So white with points of darkness. Which side would you be in? You're comfortable in this one, right? Did you even know there was another? Did you even know there's more than that? It doesn't matter, but you know that there was a reverse, do you? Or don't you? Have you ever thought about this or not? It's not something that you do, is it?
No, I didn't. I don't think I did. No.
Does it bother you?
No.
Do you care about it? No right or wrong answer. Is it something that you care enough about, or?
I know that there are things that I have no idea about, and I accept and respect that. But if I don't know how they work or something, I just don't know about them. Maybe.
You don't know about them.
Maybe
but as long
about
as
some.
life is moving towards a better world for everyone, existence, I think, not world. World is hollow. The world is not going to last. The world is more temporal. Life is supposed to be more permanent. How far can you push it? Well, if you stay on an Earth, that's temporal, and you anchor yourself to the planet, that means that your life is temporal by association. If you anchor yourself into the planet and the stars, then your life is temporal by proxy too. In order to remove away from the temporal, then you invest in what you've got now, and what you invest in which gives you the best outcome. Some people invest in, is it money? In stocks?
Yeah, they do.
So the investment strategy is already there, right? It's already there. My investment that I understand, I have never seen anyone else do it. I don't think anybody else is doing it, is to invest in what you have versus what you can achieve. So maybe I say all of this stuff on these videos and no one ever takes it seriously now. Fast forward into the future, and people will find this stuff highly valuable. They'll look back, see it, and be like, fucking hell, holy shit. And then what appeared now as waste of time, wasn't living up to anyone else's expectations of life and everything else. Then that flip happens. How did that person, those people, these ones know about this? This is what we're living now. Wouldn't you like to live in a time that I was living in? No, it's like your ancestors giving arsenic as medicine. I know. You come here. We can do with some more of you. You built a time machine yet? And if you have, get your ass here and convince humans now. Come on, they need you. You gotta get what I mean with that. So, anyway, so you gotta make. Fear never works, right? Fear never makes you change anything. I've noticed it does because it comes down to a bottom line choice, right? You want to make something of your life and punch in some codes. You're going to lose your kids. You're going to lose your cats. You're going to lose your animals. You're going to lose them all in some very weird ways. You're going to lose your childhood. These are going to be fucking destroyed. Like, I mean, gone. That existence wasted.
Yeah.
Do you and that is going to make you go through some hard fucking inward direction. Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
People will be like, what be you? A divot. A divot. Do you like that? A divot. Do you know what a divot is? It can manifest in anything. Would you like that? What's your one wish, said the universe. I want to transform into anything at any time. All right, I can do that for you, but you gotta die, and there's gotta be birth. God, it's so unfair. But yeah, no, yeah, divot. Wouldn't you like to be a divot? Universe needs another star. It's not quite finished yet. I'll do it. And won't I do it very well? No, do you get what I mean? Would you sacrifice that bit of your existence into becoming something? Planet needs some water. Guess what you're turning into? Because water memorizes itself, doesn't it? It's got memory, yeah? What do you think it stores its memory in? The emptiness? The quantum?
Yeah.
Do you ever think that how things know how to be what they are and how to move apart, that they do it in the quantum space? In the atomic?
Yeah. There's so much space that there must be enough space.
Say again.
There's so much space in there that there must be enough space to do that.
Yeah, but invert it. Well, you're fucking limited to what you can see. Anyway, so fast forward into the future and you invest in this shit. You utilize resources for this, for this, for this, for this. Why? Well, because we know that if we make this investment now, this is a long-term giving. Does this set up for more of what we are? Does this help us transition from what we were to what we want to become?
Yeah.
Does this make life better for more people to put more reassurances in the structure that we're trying to achieve? Is it selfish or selfless, that? I think it's selfless. Companies built on investing, but there's more investment. So you understand that? What are they investing to create Facebook, a platform that does this, that does that? But could it go on to invest into minds? Children's minds. Which, how does that look? To teach them to make computering. Is there a gift that can be given back? That then could be then not... Well, it could be incorporated or stand alone from the company. Do you get what that gift that keeps on going and going? Could it then go on to create something that is more meaningful, and therefore you've just invested into this, which then has created this program, which is then going to get that, which then is the investment that's been invested into you, that wisdom, that knowledge, that creativity, and for where you to get. Because everyone who seems to be at the top always seems to be looking for a freaking purpose to sink their stuff into. They're constantly looking, but you've got this pinwheel down to a fucking fine art. Seems to be really good. Now, how do you invest further? I think that's where Bill Gates is at the moment, isn't it? I don't know. I can't speak for him. I just hear some newspaper reports back 5 years ago, maybe it was 4, maybe it was even 3. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. He was going off to do this stuff. I didn't really read too much on it. It was just a headline, and I thought I assumed it by the headline. It felt a bit clickbaity for me, but still managed to, that little paragraph told me enough. I think that's where they're going, investing into things. If I give you these seeds, what are you going to do with them?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to scatter them and grow some and give you some food. Well, that's good. That's a good investment. That gives something and it takes something. It also balances the gases that you use. It's good, but it's in-house investment. What about out-house investment? Well, if you give me those seeds, a little bit of metal, a bit of this and a bit of that and a bit of this, I could grab some gas from there if I could pinch a ride with you. Oh, okay then. Grab some gas from here, convert that gas that was external into oxygen that then comes here and gives people some extra air to breathe. Now that would be an interesting thing. You've expanded the gases, probably don't want to add too many gases, because if the gases get too much in a planet, it causes a lot more pressure. More pressure that builds up in a planet causes it more difficulty in leaving the planet later on. Yeah, because as the gases get more and more and more and more. Even in the winter, I think they get less in the winter. The atmosphere collapses down on itself, I think. Yeah, isn't that why it's more wetter? Yeah, I think it is. Maybe. Can't be sure. Anyway, so in the winter, the atmosphere collapses down on itself. Then in the summer, it puffs up. And it sweats a lot more, so it expands quite a bit. And then in the winter, it all comes down. So are ladybirds reading the weather by pressure, by how much it's expanded?
Probably.
They're definitely reading long-term weather. So lots of animals read long-term weather, but how are they doing it? That's the question. The Holy Grail, I think they're feeling the pressure on their hard little shells. Another way of seeing for survival. And that pain of being hungry that makes you want to do something, to get something in order to eat something so that your kids don't die or you don't go through starvation, which back then it wasn't about not having any money that collapsed it or a house. No, these things were not even conceivable. It was getting food and making fire. And the planet was more flammable than it is now. And there are lots of ways that would trigger it as well, especially with conifer or evergreen. This stuff, man, that stuff is pretty damn flammable. And it also releases a hell of a lot of vitamin C. So even though there's a small percentage of that, it puts a lot of vitamin C in the atmosphere, which then might be a reason as to why you need vitamin C and why you are feeling like you don't have enough vitamin C and have to eat oranges a lot now or get your vitamin C from elsewhere, because the lopping and cutting of Christmas trees over and over and over and over, which is not for Christmas, obviously, but because of deforestation, you lose these vitamins that were already natural in the environment. So when pollution gets too much on the planet can only clean so much in this sweating evaporation process. It can only do so much. Then when there's too much, too many, it struggles, and then it starts to rain pollution in a way, whatever you want to call that, human waste and whatever. It then begins to, it didn't have enough time to sort of, there's just way too much everywhere. So do you see how that works with vitamin C as well? So you see that it's beneficial in one avenue, the abundance of that. Nice, good, wonderful. And then when that goes, it doesn't mean that it's gone. It means that another cycle then begins to rise up. So there's more humans or more this or more anything. Now it reaches its limit of what it can wash out. So vitamin C, it's a very funny thing with conifer. It seems to keep a lot of bacteria under control, and it acts like a strange antifreeze as well. Have you noticed that? The needles, they're very... They stop a lot of stuff growing on it. Frost is another one. Seems to be like a gentle antifreeze. I don't know if I want this one. I want that. But yeah, I think I'm going to wind this one down. It's not really where I want it to go, but it's just that sort of hit and miss where you invest. You invest in the resources, you invest in the time, and that's what I really thought that politics was all about. That you were a conductor of all of these things that are propped up in society. And that you led them towards outcome. And it seems that everyone's really good at leading people to make more money. and maybe more money, and maybe more money. And yeah, it might be good for building houses. Wonderful. There's one way to do it, but it just seems that we're so taxated. But what do we have to show for it? You know, and by now you think that if we had all of these collection of objects, water, this housing, everything else, that by now this would have been reaching its limits of like, shit me.
Yeah.
Could we have then moved those money that was coming in as opposed to give it out to companies, individually? That we'd put this into a pot that we'd then see it starting to build up, which is selfless. At the end of the day, I can't take that with me when I'm gone.
Yeah.
If I'm king, leader, or whatever else. I can't take that shit with me. I can tell you what, the knowledge of moving this stuff that's current, that everyone's accepted, moving it over, keeping what's keep going, yes, wonderful. That seems to orchestrate itself. Or get another conductor to keep that fucking wheel going. We want to build a new sort of wheel here. From that small wheel to build this next bigger challenging wheel, which goes on to support our transition. And then over the world, right? If you could be the conductor that conducts all leaders. I mean, it sounds a bit weird, but still, if you could conduct all of these to follow a path towards this way, again, you can't do it without them. They can't do it without you or the next person or the next person or the next person or the next. And therefore, the people from cleaner all the way up to, I don't know, the one that's saying, maybe we should try that. Yeah, well, whatever it is. A leader, this, that, and the other, orchestra. You all can't do it without each other. Somewhere along the line, there's give and take in this pit over here. There's give and take in this bit here and what you thought. And then there's give and take in this bit here. And I think that should be a new pinwheel. The things are going to get wrong. We're going to be wrong. Number one, we're going to be wrong. But we don't want no showboating about it. You know? So what? Shit. Oh no, I swore I did something. Whoopsie, depending on how bad it was. But, you know. These things are going to get wrong, and some things that we thought that were, you know, for everyone we believed to be correct at the time, or we were taught it. And then when we find it out, what we're going to do is we're going to rectify it. This is what we're going to change it into. That should come custom. That everyone should expect that we all make mistakes, no matter whether we're at the top, at the bottom, in the middle, fucking all the way around. We're all going to fuck up and get things wrong. Whether that's religions. I'm going to hate your religion because you said in this book, and I quote, that it said this, this, and this, and this is what we've been doing. Yes, because this is what life's about. Evolving, updating. We're updating this. Why? Well, because it served a purpose to get to here, and now we're going to update it. You know, that would have been a better way than house arrest with Galileo, right? Shoving him in, fucking shutting him out the way and everything else. Why? Well, because we might have lost this, and as opposed to being, you know what? We're going to stand by this fellow. Why? Because it's actually this, and this. Yes, but you said about your religion. Look, listen. God said that we're going to get things wrong. We're here to learn, aren't we? Well, yes. Okay then. So we're just going to adjust this, and then we should all be happy, and let's see how it reads together. Oh, well, you don't want to change that, I understand, but it's the next generation, isn't it? That they're going to hear that and get inspired and understand that and learn a lesson. The adults might not like it. You know, ooh, I don't know if I can take everything you say as true. Why not? Because you said I'd never get a fucking phone, I would never get a computer. Go around the house and they've got more computers than me. All the technology they said they never have. I thought you said you weren't going to have it. Yeah, well, you know, am I sensing a little bit of hypocrite? Shut up! Get the fucking rid of that! Oh my days, yes, I love it. Ah, the irony in this room. Ah, get a whiff of that Sorry, but yeah, I don't know if it's irony, but the hypocriticalness, you know, it's all good fun. That's wonderful, and again, it's okay to be prodded, and yeah, okay, that kind of probably hurt the person a little bit, but they learn to laugh eventually. Because that's what it's about, isn't it? We often say things, we don't mean it, we get stuck and stubborn, and then slowly but surely we come around. We come around. Yeah. I'm going to leave this one here because it's not where I wanted to go, but you know, I had a little bit of an interruption in between, and yeah. But there you go, investing. Investing for long-term future. Investing in outracing this, where we're going to live for X amount of time. Outracing the resources that become rare. We've got to make them popular.
Mm-hmm.
You know, rather than having a warehouse full of nice metals and shit. You've got the moon of possibilities.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? You create a brand new freaking moon. Where doesn't have to be a moon? It can be a moon that orbits the moon.
Yeah.
What a story would you tell people about that? You know, the first one, then the second one, and then hopefully the third chapter on top of that. A moon of possibilities that has nigh on everything that we know that exists so far. And if we find any more, it updates the mind. You know, that's one thing I will land on this, that trying to think outside of Earth's confines,
yeah,
is nearly impossible to do so, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think outside Earth's confines.
Yeah.
It is possible to a degree,
Mm-hmm.
but it's slow grinding, yeah?
Yeah.
And that means you have to pull on a lot of things in order to, and it's kind of cheating in a way. So this whole mindset has devoured enough on the planet to know what to do with planetary shit, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
But what about the stuff you don't know because you've never discovered it? Do you see how the brain just can't update?
Yeah.
It all becomes myth and you could disprove it so easy, couldn't you? How? Look at the Earth. See this? This is soil. That's it. Yeah, but what if there is some really strange metal out there that fucking glows when you think near it? You are mad. Okay, and then we go somewhere, find some of this metal that glows when you think near it, and then look! Then the brain starts to update with this, and you're born with this new updated model. Why? Because your palette has just increased of possibility. So in the beginning, what did we think that there was? Just berries and flowers, and maybe a few animals here and there. Eat those now and then. Didn't really know much. Great big ice age is coming. It's getting a little cold in here. Maybe I should dig something. Ah, leaves, good. Now the leaves are rotting. Okay, need to go a little deeper. Oh, shiny stuff. What's that? Hematite. It's moving. Look, it's ghost. Ah. Right, they've just updated your knowledge, right? You could sit there and tell someone in another faraway land, loads of people, hey, I was once in this cave, and you'll never believe what happened. No, but these two stones, if you call them stones, I brought one near it and the other one fucked off. Oh, that's Terry, listen to him. Oh, this is fucking insane, he's fucking crazy. No, I'm serious, come with me, like, come to this place, I'll show you. These stones do weird shit. They even stick together. Yeah. All right, Terry, go on. Are you coming? I ain't wasting my time on a freak. Yeah, and then somebody else sees it, or you go to the cave and get these pieces of weird stone and show people it. Now what have they just done? They just fucking updated their mind. Now they're fluent in fucking magnets. They are beginning to tell you how all of the fucking signatures that come together and why it sticks and what happens if you eat it. And, you know, hang on a minute. I found these and you already fucking written a fucking scientific degree on it? Yeah, because you just updated their brain. Their brain is updated with more stuff. And then someone else was like, oh yeah, that's nothing. You think that's something? I found some gold stuff once, if it was called gold. It was all sparkly and weird. It was all in the rock and everything else. No. Yeah, when you held it up to the light, it actually looked like sunlight bleeding out the rock. Somebody else? Yeah, I don't know if I believe you. Come on, Frank. You'll do better than that. All right, Leslie. Well done. And then they go and get it and get all of these pieces. And now what? You're updating your tools and your brain is updating. And now if your brain's updating at the same time, it's got more to work with. Oh, by the way, I know what that shit is. How come you never told me before? Because you'd have never believed me. Yes, I know, brain. Sometimes we have this sort of love-hate relationship. I thought you'd have been over it by now after this many years. So you knew this all along? Yeah. Look what I can make with that. That is interesting. Can I actually achieve that in reality? I don't know. Give it a go. Oh, fucking hell, you can. How did you know that? I told you I know everything. Yes, but you don't know things until I bring you fucking shit. Yeah, that's the way it works. I can't tell you everything. I swear to God, I love you and I hate you at the same time. You are so... But it makes no point telling you things if you don't have those things. Why? Because you will want them. And then you might start doing some foolish shit to get them. Right, okay, I kind of see your point, I suppose. You know, trying to teach sharp objects to a hunter-gatherer with no language skills as yours. It never goes well. Fingers are always the first to go. Okay, back in the time machine. We've got to go back again. Okay. Right, now, handle with care. No snap. Oh, back in the time machine. Come on, for fuck's sake. It's like Groundhog Day with time machines. That's if time machines existed. But still, you know, trying to teach them. Oof. And then what happens if you go back with all of that data, right? If you could make a time machine, just let's hypothetically while I'm on this one. You could make a time machine, you go back to when hunter-gatherers are there, and you take the periodic tables worth of elements with you, right? And you throw it in front of them. And that's given them what you wouldn't naturally have, right? So that's unnatural. In a very natural way. Let's say you find a way to go back in time, and if it's possible... What's the time, Mr. Sharp? Well, the time is fucking now. Every time you ask me, it's now. The time is now, okay? Is there a before? Is there an after? You take all of the periodic tables worth of resources back down to them, and you give it to the hunter-gatherers. Do you think they'd lap you?
Lap you? What is lap you?
Well... Everything that you've built now, yeah, you've come up to a point and its progression is very slowly at a very snail's pace, yes?
Yeah.
Might as well walk like one of those wind-up things. And I took all of the periodic table and everything else down to hunter-gatherers and give that to them. And then I bugger off. How many years do you think it would take before they've lapped you? They've gone past you? Where do you think the time... Because it's a very interesting thing, you know, like the past can teach the future. So if you could make a time machine, everyone would be cheating. They'd cheat reality. Do you know how they'd cheat it? They'd take everything that they knew and they'd go back to as far back as they possibly could. So let's say Victorian time, there was some educated people. You would go there and be like, oi, come here. What is this, sir? Whatever they may talk to him, like in Britain. I'm better than you. I don't think so. Do you want to have a look in here? Oh my God, are you Santa Claus? Yes, I am. I'm Santa from the future. Just remember that. Am I dead? No. Oh, it's just easy. Okay, I'm a fucking alien. That will do, because if not, they start worrying about whether they're dead or not. How do you tell them that they're fucking light? They are existing now. Okay, so it's just easier to say alien, and then they shit themselves, so it's not easy to say alien. So what do you say? How do you break the ice? Okay, that's number one. Let's say you do manage to break the ice, and that's such an awkward conversation, and you give them everything. And teach them, a group of them, because they'll get their friends and their friends and their friends and their friends. Do you know what I am? What's that? I am the hidden genius. That's what I am. I'm a hidden genius. I go from time to time, place to place, and I just teach people who are already halfway capable enough to understand it with a little bit of teaching. Oh, okay then. Now sit down. Relax. Relax. Did you know if you took this, did this, wrapped it around like this, you've made this, and that's for you. There's a paper hat. Wow. Put them in Christmas crackers along with a very terrible joke. Your wife is gonna love it. Anyway, so moving on, we're building all of this shit, showing them nuclear engines and everything else, and give it to them. Show them how to find it, how to get it, how to do it, how to rah-de-rah-de-rah. And then you bugger off for 5 years. And then you come back and see what they did in 5 years. Now, you would know that your current life ratio, if you made a time machine, that it's coming at this much. Never mind all the hidden shit. Let's say all the hidden stuff is this much, but they're moving at this pace, yeah? With the hidden stuff and the stuff that's available for every person. That's if there is anything hidden, yeah?
Yeah.
Then you go back in time after 5 years, and they've sort of kind of almost come up to that envelope, right? And then you're like, fuck. Well, since I've been away, since I've been here thinking, I'm a great saint of all times. I have to sit on a rock somewhere and think about shit. And look what I thought about. Some more Pandora's box for you. Have you ever thought of doing this, doing this, doing this? Ah, have you got any problems? Yeah, this, and this. What did they say at our current time? What did you say? Nothing. Just thinking. Current time means God. And yeah, okay, right. Look, we're going to give you. This is what we did in now time, but we can't tell them that because they get scared. And they need to learn a little bit more. And then maybe I could drop the bomb. But why would I? I'm having a great time being powerful, and this is just figment of my imagination. Give them a load of stuff, a little bit more pointers, and then they begin to twat lap what the future is. 10 years on, and they've ran ahead. Now, the strangest conundrum and the weirdest thing ever, do you ever think that they can outmaneuver the future? And here's the point, right? What if humans were running along this path, yes? And they were going from here to here, yeah? That's the ratio so far with a trajectory of going here in the next 5 years, they would be here, yes?
Yeah.
But you go back in the past and you give it to them, like back over here, at ratio this one, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And then they begin to expand, yes? And grow, less control. Maybe you go back to a time where there's less control or less anarchy or a quieter time, and you take back all of that shit, give it to them, and then watch, just for the hell of it. If you could, hypothetical, all the rest of it. Once you give them all of that stuff, they then begin to... Now, if I take this comparison and bring it to modern times, time has only made it up to here in that time, and the past has made it all the way up to here.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know the weird thing?
What?
Well, would you think this was weird? The past begin to predict the future in technology.
Mm-hmm.
Would that make you feel weird? And then you begin to watch all of this stuff and you begin to take notes of what they're doing, and problem is you have to leave something there in order to have your bridge go back there, because if you leave and the bubble pops, then that goes back to default of what they lived without all of that stuff. So you have to keep a link there for the next 5 years, and hopefully they never find it. Anyway, so and with them being here, and then after that they lap to over here, whereas humanity only, as now, only got to here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you reckon you could start predicting the future using the past by giving them all the technology from the future? That's one for you to think about. That's a question. Do you reckon you'll have a think about that? Which one do you think it is straight up the back? Do you reckon they go slower or they go faster? And if they go faster and exceed... am I making sense to you?
But isn't in the future already changed then if you are in the past?
No.
Why not?
Because it hasn't caught up. It will take all of that time to catch up anyway, and then you've just made a parallel universe. You've just split the timeline.
So when you return, it will not be there still?
No, when I come back here, it will still be as the time as when I left it.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm going back to the time that I remember it.
Uh-huh.
Like if I left the past and didn't leave a link there, yes, like an anchor point, that would disappear. It would have been like I never was there. And then all the stuff would come as well, and I would have never have taught them, they would have never met me, and I would have never have met them. However, if I leave a link, a bridge between the two, then that is running parallel too. However, as soon as that link closes, they go back into their now. You can't disrupt the now because it already happened, so they can't change the future. You can't change the future by changing the past. So even if I went there and dropped a nuclear bomb on their fucking asses, right, they're all fucking cooked. Good, and I left. That would only be a moment that was anchored to the now. Only I would know I did that. And that would be it. And it would be like it was quantum. The time I get back, they would go back to their now moment. That time never happened because it already proceeded till now. Do The only place that would have happened is in my head by me memorizing it. The quantum would store it in me, but it didn't actually happen. It only happened in the time that I went back in that moment and interacted with that now moment. Once I leave, it's like it never happened. It goes back to default. How do you go back to that new timeline in a time machine? Because there's nothing to go back to. You have to then jump over this way. Whereas before I would go this way and I know to sidestep this way, but to jump that way is nigh on impossible. It's almost like I created this rupture in there. And then it poses the question of who the fuck is who. So if I then got stuck in that timeline and then say, oh, okay, this one's going far forwards. Let's collapse the timeline now. And while I go here, then this becomes the new current now ratio. Then that would catch up to time. I'd be able to predict it with moral fucking accuracy. The only thing that would be different is the constructs, the weaponry, the technology. I would know that fluently based on calculating how far it would go. But that future event that happened as now would not exist anywhere because it didn't happen. Because the now ratio has changed to the now ratio of awareness, and awareness is there. And then there's a whole lot of other shit to go on, the ethics, and how to explain that to people. I don't know. So do you see how just making a time machine is just like, it's only in the mind. But it's still one to think about nonetheless because people like it. They like that sort of timeline event. And even still, even archived in the light vial, it's interesting. It's almost like the star is constantly taking fucking pictures of us all, even in the darkness. Oh yes, and I said torches, didn't I? That was the other one. That's good. So torches in space then, do they move?
Torches.
Well, if you put a torch right, you know that there are some satellites that kind of get off orbit sometimes.
Yeah.
Is that due to any blinking lights on them? If you had a blinking light on a satellite, would it, after time, cause it to move? Does light make things move? So a torch, does the light move the object, or is it not working that way? It only works with ionization. That's just a question that I got because it's thermal. If you had a light, does it move? Just question. Is there enough anything coming out of it, or is it because it's massless, there's nothing leaving, so it doesn't move, it doesn't act like an engine of any type? Maybe not, who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like a solar sail, right?
Maybe depends on how much it emits.
Right, there's a solar sail, yes?
Yeah,
And when it hits, it moves, yeah?
It moves, yeah.
That's interesting. That's because that's very small and pushing against it. Does it work the same with a light then? Like a torch? Does it act like a rocket? Anyway, just something else I was thinking about. So if you had flashing lights on something in space versus an object, two objects exactly the same weight, and exactly the same sort of, let's say, trajectory that they're on. But one has a blinking light. I'm wondering whether one would falter from its course just by having a flashing light on it. I just wonder whether it's chucking anything out. I'm just trying to jam some shit together, but just don't quite get there. Not hard enough, not enough pressure, just enough to flick it.
Maybe over some period of time it will.
Yeah, I'm on about a period of time, but time is. Yeah, making a ship that was capable of the nothingness, but to slip through all of the nothingness, when something of something hits into the nothing, or doesn't interact with it. Well, that's interesting. But if you created the nothingness and you could see it, wouldn't it then tell you whether light is the fastest speed or whether this stuff is the fastest speed? Because it might pull you in a current that you don't know is there because you couldn't see it. Do you get what I mean? No, you don't. You're going to be lost. I like that because the nothingness that you see everywhere, yes,
Yeah.
is actually something.
Mm-hmm.
But what we can't see it and how it interacts, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So is it possible that it could be moving fast?
What is moving?
The nothingness
Nothingness is moving.
is
Yeah.
moving. But it appears to be nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Only because the brain is limited, the eyes are limited.
Yeah.
If you could see it, man, I don't know.
Could be moving.
Say again.
Could be moving, yeah.
So it could be moving. But we assume light's moving. And then which one's the fastest one? Because if the light tries to come out of something, and yet something is pulling, it just makes me think about brake horsepower. How many horses will it take to stop this fucking car traveling this fast? I don't know if it works that way, but even still. Or how many horses running together makes this go ahead? But I just wonder how many horses it would take to slow an object down like that. Interesting, but still. And then what direction do they need to be running in? And one more thing, which is really fantastic, right? You don't need to worry about slamming things into the planet. You know, with resources, you know, like nature, when the seed falls from the tree and the way it just lands so beautifully, like gently, to protect the payload. Could you imagine making the same payloads come down? And then how big would the payload be in order for it to fall down safely? This brings a whole new meaning to emergency situations on an aircraft. It sort of like ejects where all the people are, and then
in a pod, sort of like the seeds are
gently coming down.
Fluffs. Yeah, it's nice to watch them when you are near those trees and they fall.
Admittedly, it's going to be insanely dizzy. It's going to be a hell of a feeling.
Yeah.
But you would probably live. Maybe. Like, I just wonder that, how to corkscrew things down, and what's the limit, and then how many atmospheres could you do that in? Is it just Earth? Nature can teach you a lot of things. Because even if you were to plant this in low gravity, it would change all of that, wouldn't it? That would evolve. So I predict that nature, when it drops its seeds, if it has seeds, who knows? And it's growing in like a Martian environment, because it's less gravity, it would find another way to evolve to drop the seed. To maximize impact and spread and growth. It would evolve in those areas, wouldn't you think so?
Yeah.
I think it would also evolve for the light cycling process as well. It may do. And then it'd have to try and find a new way to get red versus blue. However, that changes the leaf ratio or color at certain intervals. Which is possible. Again, it'll evolve that way. And then you have your nature needs to become space ready. That's something. Most things need to become space ready. It's like HD ready. You know, space ready? I mean, which one is survival moron? Wait, we're not in survival mode anymore. Are you kidding me? Are you sure? We'll just shut that down and we'll get rid of thoughts whilst we're at it. What else are we getting rid of? Third eye, fucking almost fucked off that one. Understanding what we don't know, okay? Yeah, let's shut the door on that one as well. Yeah. This empire doesn't know everything, but I can tell you what, we're going to give it a good fucking go. I mean, how does that sound, you know? Unity. Mistakes make you better. Fucking hell, these are all slogans and shit, aren't they? I can think of thousands of them, but oh well, has no place here. So yeah, I did the lights, did that one, did this. Yeah, just asking questions. Anyway, right, let's leave this one here, and I do appreciate your time with me on this one.